Hello everyone, welcome back to Kredict. This is 45-day Learn Blockchain Development Challenge with Kredict. And today we are in day 22 or you can say day 22nd of the challenge. In day 21st or you can say in previous video we have seen how we can create our own first crypto token with Solidity. We have deployed it on virtual machine and tested out all the functionalities available in it. So in today's video, we are going to extend that our token contract to add some new features like transferFrom, allowance and approve. What are these things exactly? Uh, let's understand a scenario. Generally, you hold some tokens and you can send those tokens to someone else using their wallet address. But in some cases, you want someone to transfer tokens from your wallet on behalf of you. For example, like pre-sale smart contracts. Generally, you allow pre-sale smart contract to spend tokens from your wallet. So how this mechanism work? Generally, this feature is written in tokens smart contract itself and we follow the compliance of ERC20 standard tokens or you can say BEP20 in BNB chain. So in today's video, we are going to implement all those features to our own token which we have created in previous video. If you don't know what we are talking about, just go to day 21st and you will learn how you can create your own first crypto token with us. And if you are interested in learning complete blockchain development, just follow this series from day first. Okay, so without wasting any more time, let's get started. As you can see, I have my browser open and in which this is my remix id and we are using this for writing smart contracts throughout this series. We will see some other options later, but for now we are going to stick with this. And if you are following along, you may know that we have a folder here says blockchain tweet, oh sorry, blockchain tute, and all these smart contracts we have designed so far. And in this projects folder we have our my token project. Here you can see, you can name it whatever you want, but I prefer it to name as my token, which makes sense because this token belongs to me. Okay, so just open this and for clear view I'm just gonna close this file explorer and for now just close this also. We will open this terminal when we are going to interact with our smart contract. Okay, so now here you can see we have our smart contracts which is just you can say 33-34 lines long, have some state variables like name, symbol, decimals, total supply and owner. And here is the constructor. We have one event and a mapping for storing balances and just a single function for transferring tokens from one wallet address to other. But this can be only used by the owner of tokens. For example, if you have 10 tokens, you can send to 10 tokens to someone else. But if you don't have some tokens, you cannot send it because you don't own them. Here you can say we are checking about balance, and if balance is not sufficient, we'll throw an error says insufficient balance. If you don't know what is required statement, just go watch previous videos in the series. Just search in the playlist. The playlist link is in the description, so just go and check it out. Okay, so just I'm going to start coding and we will see how we can implement all those features of transfer and allowance. Generally for this we need one more mapping for storing all the allowances with all the related wallet addresses. So for this I'm just gonna press enter here and create a mapping. You can say mapping address, and here we are going to nest the mappings like mapping inside a mapping. First I'm just writing it and later I will explain it to you and this will make all sense. So I'm gonna write as u int 256, and this is not address, this is ATTRESS. Okay, so this is a public mapping, and I'm going to name it as allowance. And I highly prefer to use this same name because this is under the standard of ERC20 tokens. Okay, so I'm going to write here new, by which we can know which line we have written new to this contract. Okay, so I have added the allowance mapping, and also we have to add a new event here. So I'm going to write event approval. This event is emitted when someone approves someone to spend their token. So just write index owner. I think this is okay, this is indexed, not index owner. And second is address spender. This is also indexed spender. And third is, you can say, unit 256 is like value. Okay, this is also new, so I'm going to write here new. So we have created event also. Now what we are going to do, now we are going to add our functions for all these features. Okay, so first function we are going to create is approve. So just go down here, type function, name it as approve, and follow the name we have written here, because all the wallet is going to look for this particular name in the function. Okay, so this is a public function which returns generally a boolean, you can say. Open this up, and this will take some arguments also, like you can say address, the spender address to which you want to allow the access, and this is like unit 256, and value, how much amount do you want to allow them to spend from your wallet. So why is this error here? Okay, so this is just a delay in updation, so no problem at all. And when someone approve, we update the allowance mapping for them, like message.sender, and second is spender, and we can update with this the newer value, like this, and we emit the event here, which is we have created above. And you can say here message.sender, spender is just put the underscore here, and the value will be just underscore value. This is recommended by remix id, and you can type it completely by yourself, there is no issue. It is just saving our time by giving the code completion, which is built in remix id. We don't have to install any plugin, or you can say extension here, and just return true. Okay, so I think we have created our new function which is approved, so I'm going to write here new. And the last function which is important for this, which is actually used for transferring token from someone's wallet to someone else, which means I'm not the owner, but I can transfer token from your wallet to somewhere else if you have allowed me by this approve function, and I can only transfer that certain amount you have allowed. I can spend less but not more than that amount. Okay, so just create the function here. I'm going to name it as function. This is not the name, this is a keyword, and the name for this function is always should be same as transferFrom. Transfer, and from, the F should be capital, and this will take argument like address, from the wallet you want to spend, and to which wallet or address you want to send, and third argument is going to be value, how much do you want to send. If you see, this is similar to transfer function, but instead of two arguments it takes three. In this it's just only two and value, and here it's also from, because you are sending from someone else wallet, or you can say account, because I've told in previous video that wallet does not hold any funds. This is just numbers stored in token smart contract. Wallet generally fetch those numbers and show it to you that you have some tokens in your wallet, but in reality it's not there. It's just numbers updated in token contract itself. And you can see here, this is just a mapping of numbers. You can see here the address, each address corresponds to a particular number, and if I have some token, the value is just updated. Okay, so just scroll down and just quickly complete this function, then we will test it. Okay, so just write here returns. This will also return boolean. Here we have to write multiple checks. First, we will check for valid address in which we are sending the token. So we can say address should not be equal to 0. And if it is, just throw the error invalid recipient address. And the second check we are going to write is require balance of from, because we are sending from the from address. Here the underscore from should be greater than or equal to underscore value. Insufficient balance. Okay, so now third check is the allowance one. We check for allowance of from to message.sender, or the caller of the function should be also equal to greater than value. The balance should be greater than equal to value, and the allowance should be greater than equal to value to get this function working perfectly. So here we throw the error allowance exceeded. Okay, so now all the checks are done. Just quickly write the main logic for this. So we'll update the balance from by subtracting the value. We update the balance of underscore 2 by adding the value. We just subtract and add from one address to another address. This is just simply updating unsigned integer numbers. And we will also update the allowance because they have spent their allowance, so we also have to decrement that. But we are going to decrement the value. And now we are going to emit transfer, which we have created in previous video. So just we are going to write from. Here you can say underscore 2, and here is underscore value. Okay, so just return true here, and I'm gonna mark it here as new function, you can say. Okay, so I think our basic smart contract we have updated, like we have added the allowance, we have added the approve function and transfer from function, which is generally the essential thing for doing a third party transfer on behalf of someone else. So I think our smart contract is ready and we can now test it. Okay, so we are going to deploy it on, uh, as you know, we are going to deploy it on EVM chain. For this, just open this up, and I'm gonna also open this terminal to see any emits, and you can say just clear this one. Okay, so just make sure to compile your contract by clicking on compile my token soul or the file name you have in your IDE. And if you don't want, just click on auto compile. It will automatically compile each time you update the code. So just click on deploy and run. Just keep this as default, keep the account default, and just go to this deploy. So now if you remember, we have to enter the name, symbol, decimal, and initial supply of our token. Okay, so what we can write here, I'm going to name it as my new token, MNT or whatever you can say, just 18 decimals. And initial supply, I'm going to write a random number. I'm not sure what it's about, just this is 5 with some zeros. Okay, so just click on transact. So our contract function executed successfully. Scroll down, open this up, and by default We have called this or deployed this contract, so by default we are the owner. If you click on this, you should see your the first address we have selected above. And if you check balance of r, just copy our address, paste here in balance of field, click on balance of, and you can see the whole amount we have here. Now you are seeing multiple zeros because this is the number in ETH, because this is 18 decimal points and this is converted in V by you can do this by multiplying this number by 10 to the power of 18 because we have 18 decimals. Okay, so just don't be confused, we have covered this in a previous video also. Okay, so we have tested all the functions in previous. Today we are going to test the new implemented functions we have did so far. Okay, so first of all I'm going to just check for allowance. You can say just drag this down. So I'm going to put here my address, my first address, and check for allowance for my second address. I will not allow anything, so it should return 0. So just copy, go back to your second, I mean first world address, and call the function. And you can see we have 0. But now I'm going to allow some. So just copy the second address, go to this and spender, and value you can say I'm gonna with this some number. Okay, so click on transact, function executed successfully, and now if I click on this, you can see I have allowed some tokens to this user. So let's switch back to the new user. We have allowed our token to spend, and now you can say transfer from. So from our original address, just copy this, paste here, and two, we have to copy a new address, so I'm gonna copy my third address from here. Don't get confused, just have some sense and you will understand all the thing going here. So instead of transferring all the amount, I'm just gonna copy this and spend half of it, just 5, and remove 10. Just click on transact, and now if you check the allowance, you can see it's half now because I spent half the tokens. I don't have any token, but I have ability to send token from my first address to some other address. And if I check balance of my third address, just copy, go here in balance of, paste, and click on balance, and you can see it received the token. So this is a little bit confusing, but if you try to understand the concept, you will come to know how all these functions are working. And I recommend you to do a research and just go and do some search, read some documentation about solidity tokens, or you can say smart contract based tokens in general, and read about ERC20 tokens, and you will come to know how all these things are working. Okay, so this is how we can add transfer and allowance functionality to our own token, which we have created in last video. So I hope you have now clear understanding how you can create your own token. Still, this is not a industry level token. You cannot use it for real because this lacks very type of validations and you can say authorization, and this may fail in some scenarios. This is just a general idea to see how you can create our own tokens. So I hope this is all clear to you, and I advise you to follow this series from start to end. We are today on 22nd day, and I will see you in next day. Till then, stay safe.